Hello, today is Saturday, March 22nd, 2025, and I am Jason Shapiro with thecrowdedmarketreport.com. Today I wanted to point out some things that I think are super interesting, not only as a commentary for where we currently are in markets, but as a commentary for sort of trading and approaching trading over time in general. So, as many know, I like to take the opposite side of massively crowded trades because I think that's what offers me good risk reward. And one of the main places that I look to find where these crowded trades are is the Commitments of Traders report. And what the Commitments of Traders report is showing right now, if you look across all these different sectors, is there's just nothing crowded out there right now. It's all pretty neutral. We can look at the equities. We can look at the currencies, right? Neutral. Crypto even. Neutral, energies, grains, right? Not showing any crowdedness, livestock, metals, precious metals, softs, you go right down the list. There's really nothing showing massive crowdedness here. So from a market perspective, let's just take it from that. What does that mean? I mean, it simply just means that there's nothing really out there that's going to squeeze the market higher, one or lower, one way or the other. Now, as I always say, is the market going to go higher or lower? Of course. The market's open every day and it's either going to go up or down. This just means that there's no edge from a positioning way to get a good risk reward based on positioning for that. So the more important point here is, so what do I do? This is what I do. There's nothing to do. So what do I do? And the answer is nothing. My process is designed and is meant to produce returns that you get when you pick market turns, which means they are negatively correlated to things like trend following, and that's what offers my clients a benefit to investing with me. If I can make money when trend following is losing, and I cannot lose money while trend following is making, in general, then that is going to add alpha to their portfolios. So there's nothing to do, so I just have to sit back and wait. That's for me. Doesn't mean that that's your process, right? But the point being, whatever your process is, there's to everything, there is a season, right? There's a season for what I do. When it's not that season, I just want to sit back and wait until my season comes. And I would advise doing that with whatever your trading process is too. Nothing works all the time. So if it's not your time and whatever you do is not set up, if you're a breakout trader or something, there's not a lot of breakouts going on right now, then the only thing to do is sit back and wait, because otherwise you're just going to piss away money. And then when your season comes, you're just going to be making back losses. Wouldn't you rather just be flat? And then when your season comes, you start making gains, and they're new high gains, right? Now, I'm not saying this isn't a time for your type of trading. Maybe it is. Shorter term traders, day traders, there's a lot of volatility out there across a lot of different markets, and maybe that's the time for that type of stuff. And if it is, then by all means, go about what you're going about, maybe you're a range trader. Things are kind of trading in ranges now because there's no real mass positioning to break it out of those ranges. So if you're a range trader, it's probably a good time. We see headlines nowadays how places like, Millennium and that have a great history of returns are having some trouble now, which is ridiculous because they're talking about they're down like 2 or 3%. I mean, you're kidding me, right? You can't give these guys a 2 or 3% drawdown. These people make you have maybe money for years and years, right? You have to have some sort of drawdown. It's just impossible not to. But the point being, like, the people, it's very natural. The people that I find, especially like, let's say in the long short equity space, that are making money now, are having a good year so far this year, are the people that have had a rough period for the last 2 years. And that makes sense, right? Because what had worked before is not working now, right? If you're a value person, then what you're doing now is working. Hasn't worked for the last 2 years, is working now, right? To everything, there is a season, right? Doesn't mean that the value guys suddenly are geniuses where they were morons before. They were doing what they do, and their clients give them money to do that thing. So they make, and that's the whole purpose of having a diversified portfolio. I know it feels like having a diversified portfolio is stupid when things are just going straight up, but things do not always go straight up, I can promise you. And in fact, they spend a long time not going straight up. And that's why you want a diversified portfolio of return streams, right? Which is a very, very important concept, which I have talked about before. So anyway, those are kind of the things that I'm seeing and the concepts that they are bringing up in my mind. I hope that places maybe a seed in there as food for thought when you're thinking about what you're doing here and what you're trying to do. Nobody makes money under all market regimes, okay? So you kind of have to, with my stuff, it automatically backs me up, right? It's saying there's nothing crowded. So there's not a high probability of big market turns. So that's what I do, is I trade big market turns. So if there's not a high probability of that, then there's going to be no trades. This is keeping me from trying to do it. And look, in fairness, the one trade where we were successful this year was in the currencies. You can see here the currencies, and this is sort of a combination of the euro, the pound, New Zealand dollar, Aussie dollar, all these things added up, right? Speculators were super short the currency, meaning they were super long the dollar. And this was right at the end of last year, beginning of this year. And, lo and behold, what happened, is right at the end of last year, beginning of this year, the dollar topped and had a big move down. And fortunately, we were able to capture that. I caught it in the pound, but there was a number of things where you could have caught it in the euro, New Zealand. And there was a time where something was set up, it worked, executed, great. But that time is gone. There is nothing right now. So again, this regulates that for me. And in your process, you should have something that regulates that for you too. If you're a momentum buyer, a breakout buyer, then there won't be any breakouts in a market that really isn't going anywhere. So therefore, you won't be getting any trades and you won't be losing any money in what is just a random kind of, range-bound environment. It's really that simple. So anyway, I hope that helps. Always happy to hear questions and comments. Please like the video if you liked it or if it helps you at all. And please check us out, crowdedmarketreport.com. We're on Twitter, we're on Substack, and we're all over YouTube, all right? Thank you and have a good week.